I call this the happiness cult. Cults aren't always bad. So this is just a great, happy place to be. We were founded on the word real, and that's a really bold statement. It's not just lip service, it's not smoke and mirrors. They really took their time when they developed our core commitments and our core values. You can find in that success planner. They give us systems to succeed, and we really do help people change their lives. Besides the friendships that we get, to the income you can make, we are all about positive, happy ripples and building you up as a person, your character, your values, and spreading that out to everyone else. And part of that is our happiness ripple. And so we are going to introduce Tahir Atwater. He's with Big Brothers Big Sisters. He's a recruiter for them. So we're going to have him come share his story, his background, and a little bit about what we can do to help Big Brothers Big Sisters, and then we'll share a couple stories.
How's everybody doing? So you're here to learn a little bit about training, some tips and tricks. Get yourself a Lexus. Maybe meet some people, make some connections. The cool thing about talking about Big Brothers Big Sisters, especially with Nerium, is a lot of you have already heard about it. You're going to hear about people changing lives, as you've already heard from Amy. But I want you to kind of take a moment, go back to when you were about 15 or younger. Think about someone that had a positive impact on your life, right? May have been someone you knew for years, months, days, may have been just a moment, but this person in some way, shape, or form kind of left a positive mark, right? And whether you know it or not, that's a core part of why you're here today and who you are. Like you said, my name is Tahir Atwater, recruiter, but also, more importantly, I'm also a big brother. I have been for the last 10 years. So for the last 10 years, I've been trying to leave that positive mark on my little brothers. And the funny thing is, when you think back about these people who have had this impact on you, you don't always remember their name. Sometimes you don't remember their face, but you'll always remember the way they made you feel, right? It's that positive feeling. They made you feel like you were worthwhile, you were worth someone's time, right? They took that moment. So that's what I've been trying to do with my little brothers. I've been trying to make him feel positive. I've been trying to make him feel, as Amy was talking about with Nerium, right? I've been trying to make sure that he knew that he could do more than maybe he'd already thought about doing. Gina and Todd are going to be up here a little later to talk about their program, not just yet. It wasn't going to be that short. But just want to share a quick story for me. So my wife has been watching me over the last 10 years and, going to go through this amazing journey with my little brothers. And so now she's finally joined, and as of Tuesday, we're now part of a big couple. So that's pretty cool. So, She was nervous. I'm a semi-adult, so it's pretty easy for me to talk to kids. For her, not so much. We took them out for, bought them a giant cupcake and then took them home, so we got them hopped up on sugar and dropped them off. That's what I get to do. I know that when people think mentorship, they think, okay, you're going to teach this guy, you're going to teach this little kid how to be a man one day, right? You're going to show him how to give a good, strong handshake, how to look people in the eye. For me, I'm a big geek and I like sports. So, yeah, we talk about that stuff, but there's a really important question I always ask all my little brothers, and I'm going to ask you all to kind of participate in right now, okay? So we talked about this on Tuesday. He gave me the wrong answer, so I'm hoping we get a better result here, all right? So, in a fight between Batman and Spider-Man, who would win? All right, so show of hands, Spider-Man. Show of hands, Batman. Oh, yeah. That's the right answer, by the way. So I read Superman? Yeah, it's too easy. All right? Yeah. And for comic book geeks, yes, I know, Batman, Spider-Man, different. Just go with it, okay? This is a very Batman-friendly city, by the way. I get to do that question in different places. It's usually Batman, right? So he said Spider-Man. So I get to call all my little brothers. I call them up or text them and say, hey, I was just in a room full of adults today, and they all said I was right. Again, right? So, when you think about when you were coming today, yeah, you're going to learn about how to be better at talking about Nerium, hopefully get that Lexus sooner or later, like Sherry did. But more importantly, you just had a chance to show up and talk about Batman and Spider-Man. Who thought that was going to happen today? Right? Now, for me, I'm a geek, so hopefully that's probably a daily thing for me, but probably not for you. But that's part of the magic of being a baby. You get to just have these moments where you detach yourself from being an adult, and you just get to have fun. Raise your hand if over the last couple of weeks you went to go see a movie or sat at home and just binged on Netflix. Somebody? Just walk the dog. Raise your hand if you just stayed home and cooked a meal. Went out to eat. All right? I know for the parents probably not, but how many of you just got to sit on your couch and do absolutely nothing for maybe a couple hours at some point? Okay, so guess what? For everyone that raised their hands, or those that didn't, but you're still thinking about it, you could be a big, because that's all we're asking. We don't ask you to make extra time, we're asking you to share your time. right? So think about the most mundane things you've done over the last couple of weeks. There are over 346 kids right here in Kansas City on that waiting list looking for a big brother, a big sister, or a big couple. So when you think about those mundane things that are everyday things, there are 346 kids that would love to do that with you. They want to be a part of the program. Gina and Todd are going to tell you about it. But before Gina and Todd come up, I'm going to show you a quick video. It's going to feature Kansas City Bigs, our CEO, Michael Lawrence, for the Kansas City agency. He's been with the program for 23 years. He's part of the big couple. You're also going to see other bigs kind of talking about why they got involved, questions they may have. But at the end of the day, remember, you're helping a lot of great kids that want to be there, that want to do everyday things. And in doing that, you're going to leave that positive feeling, that positive mark. So when you're here today thinking about, I'm going to make connections, I'm going to network, I'm going to teach, tips and tricks. You're an adult. Imagine what that would do for an 8-year-old or a 12-year-old. I'm 35. I still need role models, right? So you can imagine what an 8-year-old could use, all right? So we'll cue the video, take a look, and then Gina and Todd will come up and share their stories. Thanks, everybody.
I thought it'd be cool to have a little gal around.
Well, the thing I like about playing around with him is I can be a kid and I don't know, just have fun.
That's the best part of having a
I'm sorry, the people in this video are not all drunk. There's a weird slow motion thing going there. Don't know. If the video doesn't work, that's okay, because that's why we've also got Gina and Todd to share their story. So
Well, the thing about I like
we're still drunk, so Gina and Todd are mostly sober, so we'll just have
I chose to become a big sister because I never had a little sister. I thought it'd be cool to have a little gal around.
Well, the thing I like about playing around with him is I can be a kid and I don't know, just have fun.
I'd say the best part of having a little brother is not only a friend, but somebody that's escaped from their everyday life, and we can just go out and hang out and be guys.
Big Brothers Big Sisters of Greater Kansas City has been operating for the past 40 years on the same basic principle, and that is that we help children who want and need a friend by pairing them with an adult volunteer who simply shares time with the child.
It's a good time to go pick him up. I'm integrating him in my life with my wife and my 20-month-old son who loves him every time he spends time with him. So all the apprehensions kind of went away after the first couple weeks. Now it's a little scary in the beginning, doing things that you've never done before with a family you've never known before, but it was much more rewarding.
I think that my greatest fear when I thought about being a big brother is just having the time. It is a big responsibility, and I think that everyone thinks about whether or not they'll have the ability to impact a little when they decide to join. But when I realized that if I just incorporate him into my everyday life, that time that we spend together is both fulfilling those requirements that Big Brothers Big Sisters has, but I get to hang out with the cool kid and just have some fun. You're welcome. You are a cool kid.
I think our biggest misconception before joining Big Brothers and Big Sisters was that we were so worried about letting a kid down if you didn't have the time to do it. And it doesn't take extra time. It's not like you're adding hours into your week. It's it's doing the normal things and hanging out and just incorporating a little as a part of that.
We simply ask bigs to be friends and share their time. But if along the way something does come up that they're not quite prepared for, it's very comforting to know that there's a case manager with years of experience right there and available to give advice and direction or contact the family or just to step in and help wherever they can.
I think just the case management support that Big Brothers Big Sisters offers helps bigs to be comfortable, helps me to be comfortable, and to know that what I'm doing is right and that I'm fulfilling their obligation.
They helped find a child that you're compatible with, and they did a good job matching Kyle and I up.
We exist because there's a need for our program, and our program truly makes a difference in the lives of children. We know that littles, after spending time with bigs, will feel better about themselves. We know they'll make better choices in life. We know that all of our kids will get along better at home with their parents and siblings. They'll get along better at school with their peers and teachers. They'll make better decisions. They'll have a better attitude towards academics simply by knowing that someone else cares about them and will be checking in to see how they're doing in school and in life.
I mean, I'd encourage others to be a big brother just because of how rewarding it is. It's a great experience to give back and to almost in a sense have a purpose because you realize that someone else looks up to you and really cares what you think and what you do, and you get to really mentor someone else.
You really don't have to do a lot, I think, to make an impact and to make a difference in somebody's life.
We want more bigs to experience this so that we can benefit more children, more families, and eventually the entire community, simply by having someone who cares enough about them to share time and over time change their lives.
I felt happy because I finally get to play with somebody.
I say sign up because it's fun having a big brother.
That's cool. Thanks.
I'm learning from him how to be a man, so one day I'm gonna be a big brother.
You're gonna be awesome.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Hopefully I'm filthy rich.
Okay, that's a tough act to follow. I don't know about that. Our little, started as a twinkle in our eye in August of 2013. But like many of our stories, ours started long before that. Probably about 6 years ago. We don't have children of our own. And about 6 years ago, we thought, no medical reason why we can't have kids. But about 6 years ago, we thought, well, we'll pursue having children of our own. And so I was working a corporate job for a tech startup and making a small six-figure income, well, low-end six-figure income. And we had enough money to spend on the expensive medical treatment to have children. And so right when we were getting ready to fill out our financial paperwork and send it in, I lost my job. And so we put that dream on the shelf for a little while, no big deal. So I quickly replaced that job and quickly got back up to the income where we thought, you know what, that's kind of behind us, we're old now, and maybe we'll look into adoption. And right when we had filled out all of that paperwork that's like that thick and went to visit some counselors, my company merged and acquisitions happened, and my position was phased out. And so that time, I didn't take it so easily. I got into a dark room and crawled in my bed and didn't come out. And during that time, just a few months before that, Todd was introduced to Nerium by his best friend, Mike Whitney, who just presented the opportunity, didn't want us to be left behind, and knew that there was a place in our lives for it. And I didn't care. Like, happy, cult, happiness, positive energy, I didn't care. I would just crawl back into my bed and I wouldn't get out. I was pretty broken. But the one thing that I could lift was my hand, and I started reading The Slight Edge. And I read it, and then one day I got out of bed. Then the next day I got out of bed and I took a shower. And the next day I got out of bed and took a shower and got dressed in some decent clothes. So you get the idea. Slowly it started changing my life. And then Todd decided he wanted to go to the Nerium convention in Dallas. And so we drove there and our dogs and stayed in kind of a roach motel to get there. And we got to one of the sessions and the lights dimmed and the music was lifted, and a presentation similar to what Tahir just brought to us started playing on all the big screens. And I was moved. I've always wondered why. We have big hearts and we didn't have children, and maybe God was preparing us and our hearts for something like this program, and we would have never found it, and I would have never been prepared for it without the Slight Edge principles and some positive support around me. And so I was thinking all of these things, and I felt a shaking to my side, and I reached over, and Todd had tears in his eyes.
And we immediately went home to Kansas City and signed up to be bigs. And he just said he won't make it, so I'll continue. And so that was in August, and in October, so let me back up. When you are, I was really looking forward to being a big sister to a little girl. I'm kind of a girly girl at heart, and I really wanted a girl. But when you're a couple and you are matched together, there's so many more boys in need that you are matched with the little boys. So I was like, all right, I'll hide my disappointment. And so we went to pick up Zach, is our little boy, and he was amazing and full of energy. And he and Todd are just two peas in a pod. And Todd is kind of a 12-year-old at heart anyway.
True story.
Yeah. And at the time he was 7. And so we went to pick him up, and he wanted to go bowling. So we went to take him bowling, and he said, "Can Hannah come?" We're like, "Sure, who's Hannah? Bring Hannah along." Well, Hannah's his twin sister. And she was very attached to him. She wouldn't look us in the eye. She would walk around like this and just hide. And she didn't have a voice of her own. Zach was her voice. And so this went on for a couple of weeks every time. Can Hannah come? Can Hannah come? Of course. And so I got my little girl, and Todd got his little boy. We were matched eventually, and we have everything that we needed. And I'm going to continue this story just to bring home how much Nerium and Big Brothers Big Sisters in this partnership can change lives, and not just for people like me and Todd, but we became happy. We let go of everything else, and we really dove in. I've been on a 2-year journey of personal development through Nerium and through these children. It's true, like they just come into your lives, and when we pick them up, and the first thing they still ask for is, "Can we hear the happy song?" And we play that for them over and over and over.
No influence. This is all with him.
Well, yeah. Well, if you remember in Dallas, the happy song was kind of the theme, so we started that. But the positive influence that we can make in their lives. What started as a really selfish endeavor to fill the need to have children in our lives, really, you are giving back. But we got happy, and just a year ago, a miracle happened, and we became pregnant. Yeah. We kind of prepared our littles by saying, "Hey, what if we had a baby? You guys would kind of be the bigs. Wouldn't that be cool?" And they were like, "Yeah, that's really cool." They didn't get it. Well, we lost that. We lost that pregnancy. No big deal. But again, if we would, tragedies, like we all have a story. Tragedies happen to all of us. But the day we found out, and the time I was traveling and we got home, if I wouldn't have been able to pick up those kids and have them running towards me, and the love, and all they wanted to do was just go for ice cream. All they wanted to do was go do a craft. Zach's favorite thing to do is just to play football with Todd. He just wants to play catch. Yeah. It goes both ways, and I just feel like your whys change, right? Like we don't know why that happened. We don't even really know our why. But I feel so strongly that through Nerium and through Big Brothers Big Sisters, we are finding our why, and we probably don't even know it. And when people ask me what I get out of it, he's the one that pours on the tears. But when people ask me what I get out of Nerium and what I get out of Big Brothers Big Sisters, honestly, all I do is point to this guy because he's my hero. He's my Superman with Zach and Hannah. So thanks, guys.